Oh, wow. I'm glad I'm not working today. It's raining cats and dogs. Woo! I think it's supposed to rain all week. So much for riding my dirt bike. Let's go for a ride. We're going to talk about night driving versus day driving and fuel hauling specifically. Let's get to it. All right. This is why fuel hauling is awesome, because you get 2 days off back to back. You get decent home time. You're actually really good home time for trucking. You're home every single day. What more can you ask for? All right, if you're lucky, when you get into fuel hauling, you'll have a decision to make. You'll either be able to choose day driving or night driving, all right? And what's with the, I'll tell you, stick around, okay? First, we're gonna talk about day shift, all right? So, that's what I trained on at first, because my trainer is on day shift. So, on day shift in fuel hauling, you're gonna be starting anywhere, I would say between 2 and 4 a.m. typically, which means you're gonna have to wake up obviously earlier than your start time to get waked up, eat breakfast, get your stuff together and head to the yard. All right, so you're gonna be waking up when it's still dark outside, and you'll be starting your runs when it's still dark outside, okay? So from the beginning of your shift, you're gonna get like your first couple of loads or whatever, and they'll be kind of smoother. What I mean by that is you're not gonna have to deal with rush hour morning traffic until later in your shift. So you're gonna start out the day on a smoother pace and less cars on the road. It'll be like that. Now, also for day shift, when it starts getting light outside and everything, obviously you're gonna have to deal with more cars on the road, and there's from what I've seen, there's more trucks waiting to get loaded at the terminal. So you're typically waiting a little bit longer at the fuel racks, depending on what terminal you're at, okay? And on the unloading side, at the gas stations and the delivery spots, you're gonna be trying to get to the fuel lids, and you might have to wait for other cars to move out of the way, or you might have to get people to stop parking on the lids. I see so many Amazon truck drivers, tow trucks, they always park on the fuel lids, and you have to go inside the gas station and try to find them. And if you can't find them, you got to tell the gas station attendant, the cashier, wherever, hey, this guy's on the lids, because fuel delivery drivers have priority over other delivery drivers, okay? So that can be a pain. And also, so on day shift, it's kind of, you're going to be dealing with a lot of traffic, okay? And especially where I live in Atlanta, the traffic really never ends. Even on nights, there's a lot of traffic and stuff. But so the positives, what's the positive about day shift? I'm going to do the pros and cons of both, okay? So the positives of day shift, you're going to get home to your house pretty much around 11, 12 hours after you start, if you have a normal day. If you have a shorter day, it might be like 9 or 10 hours. You'll get home 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You're going to be home before everybody else with their 9 to 5. If your wife has a 9 to 5, you'll be home before her. And, you can have the evening with your family. The only thing is, you got to get your ass to bed fairly early. I was going to bed around 7 p.m., sometimes 7:30 if it was a late night, because you got to wake up at 1, 2 in the morning, So you got to go to bed early. And for me, I'm kind of like a night owl, so I don't really like going to bed in the early evening time. It's like you have to force yourself to go to bed, because you have to be up early. And you know, that's a good thing though. If you have kids and your kids are in school or whatever, I feel like you get more time with your family on day shift. Okay. All right. So that's what I've gathered with day shift over training, and I was on it for a week by myself too. Now I'm a night driver. Let's go over night driving. All right. We'll do the pros of night driving before the cons. All right. The pros of night driving. Man, so you're going to start and you're going to have the exact opposite of the other schedule because you're going to be in slip seas. So you'll start early afternoon. Yesterday was Saturday. I started about 1 p.m. and that's early for me. Normally I start around 3. All right. You start early afternoon, and now it's the opposite of day shift. Okay. So it's still going to be light outside when you start, and a rush hour is kind of starting to build up. So around your first 2 loads, you're still dealing with cars on the road and everything. And you kind of go into work in the middle of the day. So it's like still kind of not chaos, but the world's moving, the world's turning, people are moving and doing things. So you're starting the day when you're fresh and ready to work on a, you know what I'm trying to say here. Like you're starting the day during the chaos. We'll call it chaos, okay? So around your second load, it starts getting dark outside. All right, the world's slowing down. Traffic's starting to die off. It's getting dark. Now there's hardly anybody at the terminals, let alone the gas stations. So when you're trying to load your trailer, you're going to the terminal and you're not waiting behind another guy. If you are, it's only one. It's not like 6 or 7 other trucks. All right. Now, when you go to deliver your load, the gas stations are they're not empty, but they might as well be. It's kind of quiet and peaceful. There's not a lot. You hardly ever have to ask people to move off the lids because there's not very much people at the gas stations. Yeah, just traffic in general is just a lot smoother, and especially on your last 2 loads. Now, also at night, like most of the dispatchers and managers are asleep, so they're not going to be calling you, and you know, they typically just leave you alone and stuff. Another thing, all right, forgot what I was going to say. Hold on a second. I had an important point. Oh, this is the biggest pro of them all, okay, for night drive fuel haulers. From what I've seen, the loads are better. The loads are better. During the day shift at our company, these guys are doing pump loads. They're driving so far to deliver fuel. Sometimes they have 5 loads. So the night guys, I basically do all Quick Trips, racetracks, Murphy's, the big gas stations. I don't do pumps. Everything is a drop. The loads are better, okay? I don't know if it's the same at other companies, but at our company, the night drivers get the gravy loads. So that is like the biggest pro to me. Now, let's get to the cons of night driving. Cons. If you're not a night owl, you can get really tired. That's why sometimes I use these. They're like Zins. You just pop one in and you're good to go. I'm not condoning nicotine, but I mean, it works for me. Plus energy drinks. So if you're not a night owl, you can get tired. You either want to work nights or you don't. For me, I don't mind it. I like it. I'd rather stay up late into the night than wake up in the middle of the night and start my day. I hate waking up at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. That shit sucks. I'd rather go to bed at 1, 2, or 3 in the morning, honestly. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys my opinion on days versus nights, and you can let me know what you think down below. If you have anything to add, let me know in the comments. Hit the like button. Guys, you stay safe and take it easy.